You want a baby? Go to a sperm bank. There's no way in hell my husband is donating to your cause.
If Jax wants to help me, that's his decision.
Tell her you're not doing this, please.
Johnny Sakara showed up in Port Charles a few times, but he didn't stay very long.
Long enough to get to know my daughter.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Lulu, but I can tell you right now, Johnny Sakara is a wild card, just like his father. And his father will do anything, go after anybody. I'm talking women, children. Nobody's off limits.
That's a big problem for you if he's got his eye on Port Charles.
Johnny, don't! He didn't hurt me!
Because you ducked.
Gun went off by accident.
I saw you pull the trigger. I can call this self-defense.
If you kill him, you're gonna have to kill me too. Otherwise, I'm gonna go straight to the cops and tell them exactly what you didn't hear.
Okay, listen, I want the footage from every traffic camera along Route 91.
What is the Master Hope the Grasshopper will find?
Johnny's car. Night he picked up Lulu, they broke down on 91. He may go back there.
The Septic Sun is far too cunning to retrace a previous path of flight.
Well, that's all we have to go on right now, Spinelli. What are you doing? What are you looking at?
Fair Lulu never came home last night, and the Jackal fears she may have returned to the Simian's lascivious lair.
If you don't do something to intervene, Sonny's gonna wind up dead.
Alexis Davis is a top-notch attorney who thrives on competition in the courtroom. She will use every trick in the book to shore up Lucky's position, which means that you need to be prepared. This is going to get ugly.
I don't want this to turn into a long, drawn-out fight.
Then be clear on what it is you want and not on what your attorney thinks she can get you.
What I want is a cut-and-dry divorce that gives me custody of Cameron and Jake and allows Lucky to see them as much as he wants.
Let's leave that last part out, shall we? You walk into a mediation with your heart on your sleeve, and Alexis is going to steamroll right over you.
Wait, I thought the whole point of a mediation was to come to an agreement that's best for the kids.
It is.
Well, then why are you being so combative?
If I don't defend Elizabeth, she will be the one who winds up with visitation.
Oh, that's Graham. She's dropping off the last load from the house. Can you...
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll
thanks.
go get it.
You know there is one way to resolve this custody issue, and that is for you to declare that Jake is not Lucky's child.
No. I do not want to hurt Lucky any more than I already have. And Jason has made it clear that he doesn't want to risk Jake's safety by letting the rest of the world know that he's a father.
I'm sure he would much prefer that than to living...
Oh, okay. You're officially moved in. Where should I put it?
I don't know. Let me see what it is. Thanks.
Diane Miller. Thank you. Well, things have officially kicked into high gear. Lucky just filed for emergency guardianship of Jake.
The fashionista no doubt has Mr. Corinthos's best intentions in mind, but interjecting yourself into his affairs and appealing to Stone Cold to do the same is not only counterproductive, it could create a disaster of catastrophic proportions.
Okay, that's enough talking. Get your computer and go upstairs.
I'll be in my pink room if you need me.
Okay, Kate, you should not get involved in Sonny's business.
Yes, well, unfortunately, just being around Sonny has put me in the position to hear things on more than one occasion that I probably
Okay,
shouldn't.
then you need to take that up with Sonny.
All right, let me just bottom line this for you. Sonny is determined to meet with Anthony Zaccara in person. And the last two people who did that, how should I put this in your vernacular? They wound up taking a dirt nap.
Well, good luck with the Zakaras.
And I will have my people keep an eye out for Lulu.
I appreciate that. It could be she's just laying low. I didn't say what she wanted to hear when I found out about the deal she cut with Scott Baldwin.
That doesn't sound good.
It ain't. He agreed to drop charges against me and turn the guardianship of Laura back over to Nicholas if she gave that bastard kid of his another shot. I called her on it, and she disappeared.
Well, let's just hope she took off alone. She's not messed up with this Zakara thing, because I tell you right now, right now it's ugly. It's going to get worse.
If you pull that trigger, I will go to the cops.
Could you really turn me in?
Could you really shoot an unarmed man? You shouldn't have to think about it. This is crazy. He didn't do anything. If you shoot him, you deserve to be locked up.
You're free to go. But this stays.
You're out of your mind.
Last chance. Get out and get shot.
This is my cabin, and you two are trespassing on private property. If anyone's leaving, it's you.
Is that any way to treat someone who just saved your life?
You know, I think it's great. If you want to be a mom, a single mom, I fully support your decision.
Thank you.
Just so we're clear, this is a deal breaker. Donate 1 drop of genetic material and we are through.
You mean you would actually divorce Jax if he decided to help out a friend?
It's not like you're asking him to water the plants or pick up your mail.
Well, I may as well be. It's gonna take the same amount of time.
I don't care how long it takes, okay? He's my husband. That gives me exclusive rights to his body, his heart, and his genetic material.
Do you realize how selfish you sound right now?
Selfish.
You have 2 healthy children of your own. If I want to have one and Jax is willing to donate his genetic material, you really shouldn't have a problem with that.
Why don't you go ask Patrick and leave my husband alone?
Patrick's not part of the equation.
Yes, but I am. And Robin is right. It's my decision to make. I'm sorry, Robin. As much as I want to help, I can't. You know, when Courtney wanted to have a child, I offered Elizabeth an obscene amount of money to be our surrogate, and that didn't work out too well for us. I became attached to Elizabeth and the baby, as I'm sure I would to yours. And I'm assuming you don't want a hands-on father.
No, not really.
Don't give up, because you have a lot to offer a child.
Another drink?
No.
I'm all done here.
Well then. Patrick put you up to this, didn't he? He told you that Jax and I were going to meet and what I was going to ask him.
I'm glad Patrick gave me a heads up.
Thanks, Jax.
Sure have learned a lot from this experience. Hey, do you have a moment?
Please. It's good to see you again.
I should warn you, though, this isn't about Lorenzo's property.
Now I'm intrigued. What other possible reason could you have to want to visit me?
How do you feel about play dates?
You're gonna have to be a little bit more specific.
Well, I do realize that Molly is a full year older than Lila Ray, but I was thinking that they might enjoy each other's company, you know, if anything, just to give Molly the chance to play big girl instead of constantly trailing around Christina.
Well, that's a kind and generous offer, if it's sincerely motivated.
You think I have an agenda behind 2 preschoolers playing with blocks?
You might just trying to be soften me up. You know, we both have daughters, right? I want to see maybe if they have a connection, and then you can use it to your advantage.
Oh, really? Is that what you do?
Before I had a daughter? Yeah, probably. But it's also why I'm overprotective and maybe a little offensive. I have no reason to believe that you would try to use Molly.
Of course you do, Rick. We both know that I'm a manipulator from way back. At one point in my life, I had 0 appreciation for children. In fact, I could easily see myself fussing over someone's child to gain points with his or her father, but like you, that was before I had a child. Lila Ray's the most important thing that's ever happened to me. And I wanted to grow up with everything that I didn't have: security, love, self-worth. So the answer to your question is no, I don't have an agenda. I just am aware that maybe Molly's feeling a little isolated these days. And I thought she could use a friend.
Lose the attitude.
You're not gonna do a thing in front of your girlfriend.
I don't have a girlfriend. And if I did, it wouldn't matter anyway. I got what you call family connections. Are you gonna apologize? Or am I gonna blow a hole in your chest?
Sorry.
Not to me, to her.
Sorry.
Oh, no, I am sorry. We should have never trespassed on your property. We're leaving right now. Let's go.
I like this place.
Johnny, let's go before someone calls the cops.
He's not gonna say a word. Are you, old man?
You bought yourself some time.
What the hell is wrong with you?
I never met Johnny Sakara, but Jason and Carly have, and they both say that, the kid's got problems, he's not right in the head.
Oh, well, that doesn't make me feel any better.
And like I told you before, Johnny's very important to his father, and Anthony will do anything to keep him safe.
So he's an important bargaining chip.
Yeah, if we grab Johnny and we use him as leverage, there's one way to back up his father. But the problem is, it's a very delicate situation.
Delicate, huh? That's sure not so subtle way of telling me to back off. Okay, I understand the problem. But don't count on me staying out of this if Lulu's involved.
No, I understand that, but Jason's got a lot of men looking for Johnny. If they pick Johnny up, Lulu's with him, we'll bring her back.
Okay, thanks, Sonny.
I appreciate the trust.
Just don't count on it lasting too long.
What we can count on is the less people involved, the less chance we have of somebody else getting killed.
Like I said, this is Sonny's business and you should not get involved.
Well, you certainly should. Isn't it your job to keep Sonny safe? Tell him to drop this. You know it's a bad idea for him to meet with Anthony Sakara.
I'm not gonna tell him what to do.
Even if it's for his own good. Look, Jason, I think that it's clear that I care for Sonny, as do you. He is far too consumed with this rivalry with Trevor to think clearly. We have to do something to stop him.
Fine. You wanna help? I want you to tell me everything that you know about Trevor and Zakara.
I have known Trevor for years, and he never once mentioned having any association with the Zakara family, let alone working for them. I mean, not that I'm surprised. Trevor has always been discreet to a fault, even when there's no reason to be. And there was this one time that we went on this...
What?
It might be nothing.
No, it might be something. Tell me what happened.
Well, if I do, it could get Sonny killed.
Your mail, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anything else I can get you? Perhaps some coffee or tea?
No, that'll be all. Thank you.
Very well, sir.
Alfred.
Shall I take that for you, sir?
Yes, just go ahead and get rid of it. And any other sharp objects in the house. I don't want anything lying around when I'm having these blackouts.
If I may be so bold, sir, there are a few other precautions you may want to consider.
Such as?
This mosque ball you're planning, perhaps it would be best if it were held at a later date.
I'm not postponing the ball. I've already told Emily about it.
Miss Emily may not have been made aware of all the details. She may not be as disappointed as you expect if you choose to reschedule.
I've already made my decision, so if you would please stop badgering me about it. Nicholas, do you have a minute? Yes, we attend to that matter we discussed, please.
Certainly, sir.
Okay, so what's going on?
I just filed for emergency custody of Jake.
Why? I thought you and Elizabeth agreed to share custody.
Yeah. Well, that was before Diane got involved, and now she's pushing for visitation only. Alexis is hoping that this will scare Elizabeth into agreeing to a 50-50 split.
Well, has the petition already been granted, or?
There hasn't been any word yet, but Alexis thinks that there will be.
Are you prepared for what that means?
I know it's going to be hard on Elizabeth.
Hard on Elizabeth? She hasn't spent more than a few hours away from Jake since he was kidnapped, Lucky.
If I don't fight for my son now, I could lose him altogether. Do you think that I'm doing the right thing?
I don't know. If you have to ask, then you already know the answer.
After what Alexis went through with her own child, I can't even believe that she would consider taking yours away.
Not half as surprised as I am that Lucky agreed to go along with it. I mean, how could he even think filing for emergency guardianship was going to solve anything?
Now, see, that's the problem. He's not thinking. He's hurt and he's angry.
And he's going out of his way to punish me. Because jumping into bed with Sam wasn't enough, now he's bound and determined to take away my child.
Okay, wait. That hasn't happened yet. Okay, Elizabeth, Diane's an excellent attorney, and she's going to find a way to block this petition.
God, I cannot believe things have gotten this far. I mean, how could two people who loved each other so much end up hurting each other so badly? This is not who Lucky is.
Well, maybe Lucky's realized that sleeping with Sam and giving up on your marriage was a terrible mistake, and he's lashing out and frustrated because he doesn't know how to fix it.
And taking away my child isn't going to make anything better.
Sticking a gun in someone's chest and threatening to pull the trigger is not okay. Neither is bragging about how your family can help you get out of it.
It's the truth. People that get in my way wind up dead.
And you're proud of that? You think living above the law makes you special?
No one's above the law. I live outside it.
Oh, and that makes you cooler than the rest of us, right? You drop out of the sky in your super fast car with a gun in your hand and money in your pocket like it's some sort of game to you? Like you're not even there? Does it actually get real when someone dies?
A person that's got no limits and no one to answer to, you can't stop him. Best thing to do is get out of his way.
Oh, is that what you do with your father?
This thing with Anthony Damn Sakara has gone on way too long, Max.
What do you want to do about it, boss?
I want a meeting, face to face, to get a few things straight.
How? We don't even know where Zakara is.
That's what I'm paying you for, right?
I got people on it, Mr. C.
And?
Our contacts gave us the same address Spinelli got. On paper, Anthony Zakara lives in a townhouse in Lower Manhattan, but nobody's seen him coming or going from it in years. In fact, nobody sees the guy in public much at all anymore.
He didn't just get up and disappear, Max. He's got people carrying out his orders all over the city. There's got to be somebody besides Trevor Lansing who knows where to find Anthony Zakara.
Years ago, Trevor took me to this little town on the Hudson River for a weekend getaway. And when we were there, he met with a client.
It was Zakara.
Trevor never mentioned the man's name, but I do remember the house. We were walking along the riverbank, and we came upon this medieval-looking estate. It had this wall around it. It was stone. It must have been 10 feet high. It went right down to the river, and I remember I wanted to take a picture. And Trevor was adamant that I had to put the camera away, that I couldn't take any photographs of the house.
Can you tell us how to get back there?
Well, that depends, Jason. Who would be following my directions? You or Sonny?
Elizabeth and I, we made a lot of mistakes in our marriage. But we always wanted what was best for our kids.
And you think taking Jake away from his mother is what's best for him?
But Elizabeth didn't leave me much choice.
Look, as Jake's father, you have every right to be a part of his life. But there has to be a way to ensure that without filing for emergency guardianship.
Elizabeth started this. I never wanted a fight.
No, it doesn't have to be a fight. Call Alexis, tell her to back off. Stop this petition before the situation gets out of hand.
Nicholas, if I back down now, I could wind up seeing Jake and Cameron every other weekend. I can't take that chance.
Listen, Lucky. Taking the position that the best defense is a good offense might not be the right thing to do at this point, given that you're essentially telling the court that Elizabeth is a bad mother. If you continue to let this get out of control, you can end up doing damage beyond your imagination, Lucky.
I hate that this is what Lucky and I have become. We couldn't make our marriage work, and now we're playing tug-of-war with our children. I never wanted Jake and Cameron to be caught in the middle of our problems.
What if you don't fight the petition for emergency guardianship just for right now?
No, I am not giving up my son.
Elizabeth, I just think that once Lucky has a chance to relax, to calm down without feeling threatened, that he's going to be able to back off and be more reasonable about the whole custody arrangement.
The Lucky I used to know would have done that, but now he is just too angry. Not that I blame him. I lied to him for months. I remarried him when I knew my heart was with Jason. But still, I am not going to let him use Jake to get back at me.
Lucky's not going to give up.
Well, neither am I. I am going to fight with everything I have to keep my boys with me.
Thank you for waiting.
Might want to check your files over there. I could have ransacked them for all you know while you're gone.
Oh, I doubt there's anything in them that would be of use to you at the moment. Look, I'm sorry for treating you with suspicion earlier.
Please. It takes a player to know a player. You'd be a fool to trust me. You can't take that risk. Especially where the welfare of your child is concerned.
This is about what happened at the Metro Court the other evening, isn't it? When you saw me arguing with Alexis and Jerry.
Sorry to say I only saw you arguing, Rick. I just saw Alexis looking affronted and mildly puzzled.
Yeah, it's a courtroom tactic, and Alexis is a master at it. Don't engage emotionally. Don't let the witness or opposing counsel get one up on you. Let them become outraged and treat the issue at hand as something that's been blown way out of proportion. That way, the other party seems unreasonable. And if I know all of this, why do I let her trap me every time?
You said it, not me.
I don't know, I can't be indifferent to Alexis. You know, there's far too much hurt and anger there. And more than a little regret. And a lot of frustration, especially where Molly's concerned. Look, you said before that you wanted to give Lila Ray everything that you didn't have when you were growing up. That's the way I feel about Molly. I grew up in a, well, let's put it mildly, an unhappy home. My adopted mother and my father were locked in this icy, subtle, endless war. I mean, the undercurrents were everywhere.
Resentment, infidelity, business trips lasting weeks, subtle digs masquerading as dinner conversation.
Did I miss where you moved in with us?
You weren't the only one to grow up rich and unwanted, Rick. The upper classes have their own subtle forms of child abuse.
Not that we've dealt with anything comparing with what Alexis had to deal with. You know, with Elena and everything.
She certainly won't let you ever forget that.
No, she doesn't.
Look, I know Alexis went through hell as a child. I do, which would explain why she's overprotective with Molly and Christina to the
The
point
only
of
thing is
smothering.
that Alexis feels that she's the only one who can actually care for and love this child. And I mean, it's admirable to a certain degree.
Yeah, but it doesn't leave much room for fathers now, does it?
No, it doesn't. And I'm not willing to sacrifice my daughter for anything. Molly is far too important to me.
Did you find anything?
Yeah, per your instructions, I jackaled into the DOT mainframe. I'm accessing the traffic cameras along County Route 91, and it doesn't appear that that's the Warped One's chosen path.
So there's no way to tell where Johnny's headed?
Well, actually, when cross-referencing the Skeptical One's accounts, I came across 2 charges made in the last 24 hours. One at a gas station off of Windsor Road, and one at a diner in Ashland. Okay, so I pulled up security camera footage from the houses in a 10-mile radius, and around midnight, the Warped One's car was spotted turning onto a private road that leads up into the mountains.
It's good work. Did you find anything else?
It appears the younger Zakara is not traveling alone, although it was dark. A flash of blonde hair was discernible as the car passed under a street light. It appears that Fair Lulu has taken another ride with the Warped.
Put some guys outside Zakara's townhouse. Anybody gets within 10 feet of the front door, I want to know about it. Thank you. Yes.
Do you have a few minutes?
Yeah, what's going on?
Before I get into why I came, I would just like to say up front that I think you meeting with Zakara is a terrible idea.
I think you made that clear last night, Kate.
Well, so you're still trying to pursue this?
Well, it's just that, as you know, Letitia was murdered in Carly's living room. Whoever did it is threatening to come after my family next. So that's why I have to meet Zakara face to face to figure out a solution so nobody else ends up dead.
Yes, but if you have this meeting, you may be the next casualty.
Casualties are all. You know what I mean?
Sonny, there has to be some other way to resolve this situation without you putting your life in danger.
It's not going to really matter, Kate, because Sakara's been in seclusion for years. No one knows where he lives. No one knows where to find him.
I might. I tried to persuade Jason to discourage you from taking the meeting with Sakara.
Well, Jason's not easily persuaded, neither am I.
Well, I'm not a woman who gives up on a fight for something or someone who matters.
Okay, Kate, listen to me. I don't tell you how to run your magazine, even though sometimes I think you're making a mistake, like letting Jax, invest in this new project instead of me. But that's all right. I'll let that go.
Sonny, I hardly think you can compare the two. Although demanding my job was never life-threatening, yours is.
What do you know about Anthony Sakara?
I never planned for you to come back into my life. And now that you have, I've grown rather attached to having you around. And I would hate for something to happen. And if I tell you what I know, something might.
Kate, seriously, and I'm not joking right now. If you know anything about Anthony Sakara, you better tell me before somebody else gets hurt. Where is his house?
It's in a place called Crimson Point.
All right, I realize that I've treated Alexis badly, but in all fairness, she's treated me badly too.
That's beside the point, isn't it? You share a child. Molly's equally important to the both of you.
Yeah. I think Alexis might argue with you on that particular point.
Yeah, well, then she'd be wrong. I myself grew up something of a daddy's girl. Constantly starved for the love and attention of my adopted father. My mom got me the divorce, and I resented every single day that I was away from my father. I don't think Adam loved me nearly as much as his biological children. I don't know, that could just be my own warped perception. The point is, Rick, that little girls are hardwired to hero worship their fathers. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to tell my little girl about hers.
Why don't you tell her a fairy tale? That Lorenzo was a good man.
Well, he was, for the most part, where Lila was concerned. The point here is that don't do Molly any favors. You're not going to do her any favors if you let Alexis just push you out of the way. And if she does that, it's just going to go back to bite her when Molly rebels.
There's no chance that you're just telling me what I need to hear, are you?
Doesn't really matter, does it? It's just my opinion. It's not like I'm a family court judge or anything.
It matters to me. I appreciate it.
Well, look, I don't know what your custody agreement is with Molly, how much time you get, if you
Get
really
it every
time with her.
Saturdays, and unless there's a scheduling problem, then I adjust to that.
Okay, well, Lila and I are free most Saturdays. Give us a call.
Great. Hey, I'll even bring snacks. Dry cereal or cheese crackers.
Cheese crackers? What are you thinking?
It's Molly's favorite, too.
Are you hungry? I can bring you something back from the snack stand.
That's funny. We've talked about everything from running off to Canada to killing people, and the minute I bring up your father, you change the subject. Why?
There are just some things in life you don't talk about.
Is that supposed to scare me? Because it doesn't. I know plenty of people in your father's line of work, and yeah, it's dangerous, and it's illegal, which is why people talk about it as little as possible, but we're in the middle of nowhere, and I'm not wearing a wire, so why can't you talk to me about your father? Is he some sort of monster or something?
The architect came by, dropped off the plans for the new spa renovations. He was going to wait for your notes, but I wasn't sure when you were coming back, so he left. Where'd you go?
For a walk. Jason always tells me to count to 10 and take a deep breath before I say something I regret.
To work?
Well, considering the fact that I counted to 1,000 and I still want to hit you upside the head, no, didn't
Why are you so angry with me?
Because Robin asked you to be the father of her child and you considered it.
No, I told her that I couldn't help her. Did you not hear that?
But you
part?
wanted to help her? And I stood right there and I told you how I felt about the situation, and did you listen to me? No, you ignored me completely.
No, Robin came to me as a friend and asked for a favor, okay? I didn't know what it was going to be about, and it had nothing to do with you.
Your wife. Every decision you make affects me. And after everything we've been through this year, I would think you would know that by now.
Problem with my diagnosis?
I have a problem with you constantly interfering with my life. Really, where do you get off calling Carly and telling her about my plans to be a mother?
I thought Carly had a right to know that your plans included propositioning her husband for sperm.
Jax has been my friend for many years. If I want to ask him to be the father of my child, it's none of your business or Carly's.
Well, Carly didn't think so. Then again, I doubt most women would be okay with their husbands having a baby with another woman. Kind of defeats the purpose of making a commitment.
This coming from a man who has absolutely no idea what that means.
Maybe not. But I do know it's a bad idea to have a baby with a social acquaintance.
Babies are a bad idea in general to you, so why do you care who I make one with?
Robin, I just think you should be a little more selective. Hitting up half the town to find a sperm donation, it's a little extreme, don't you think?
So it's my method that you have a problem with, or is the fact that I didn't ask you?
I'm glad you didn't ask me. It would have been awkward to refuse, even though I didn't want a baby when we were together, and I don't want one now.
Fine, that's your choice, but that doesn't give you the right to dictate whether or not I have a child.
Robin, you're only doing this because I said we weren't ready to be parents. You're trying to prove me wrong.
Wow, you're so self-centered.
I'm being honest. The only reason we broke up is because I didn't want 2.5 kids, a white picket fence, and a minivan sitting in the driveway. I like my life. I really miss having you in it. But if you're waiting for me to one day wake up and be a family man, that's not who I am. That's not going to change. It's not a reason to have a baby.
Clearly, you don't think very highly of me.
That's where you're wrong. I've always thought of you as a beautiful, brilliant, talented woman who could do anything if she put her mind to it.
Except be a mother.
You know I never said that.
You didn't have to.
Robin, if this is about you really wanting a child, why are you so dead set on conceiving one with a stranger? Why don't you adopt a baby who really needs a mother?
There was a time when you cared about what I thought and how I felt. And ever since you came back from Turkey, things are different, we're different, and we're fighting all the time. And that doesn't make any sense to me because you almost died. So if anything, we should be closer than ever. We should be loving each other and we should be listening to each other. But instead, I stood there and told you how I felt and you completely ignored me. This is about a woman who wants you to be the father of her child, and you know I can't stand her.
Carly, I turned Robin down for one reason.
Because you can't imagine having a child and not being a part of its life. That's what you said.
No, that's not it. The truth is, when I become a father, I want it to be with you.
What do you want?
I thought we could talk.
Unless you came by to tell me you're dropping the petition for emergency guardianship of Jake, we have nothing to discuss.
It's not what you think.
So you're not trying to take away my son?
He's our son. And no, I'm not.
Then why did you file the petition?
Because it was a negotiation tactic, and I wouldn't need it if you'd be reasonable.
Reasonable? God, you call threatening to take Jake away from me reasonable?
How is that any different from you being allowed to decide whenever I visit?
I told you you can see the boys whenever you want.
Why should you be the one to tell me when I see my son?
I'm glad you're here. There's something that I need to tell both of you.
I just got word that the judge has ruled on the petition.
He did.
And you decided you would come by and share the news with my client personally.
Actually, I came to see my client because I was told coming out of chambers that you were going to be here speaking to Elizabeth.
Without benefit of counsel. Any deal that your client came to strike with mine, we're not interested.
There is no deal.
Stop! Will somebody please just tell me what is going to happen to my little boy?
I hope you're hungry. I picked up some. Where's Lulu? You tell me.
One large pepperoni with extra cheese. Anything else?
No, that'll do it.
$15.
Thank you.
It's a big pie for a little girl.
Good metabolism, I guess. So where's Johnny?
You tell us.
I thought you guys were supposed to follow him wherever you guys go. Day off?
It's cute. Where is he?
Even if I knew, I wouldn't tell you.
Guess we'll just have to make Johnny come to us. Take her to the car.
Crimson Point is filled with old homes, owned by people with even older money. Trevor and I spent a weekend there years ago.
With Zakara?
Trevor never mentioned the name Zakara until recently.
What makes you think he lives there?
Trevor and I were walking along the riverbank, and we came upon this old, imposing home that went right up to the water, and there was a sun setting behind it, and I wanted to take a picture. Trevor warned me in a tone that he rarely used, that it was absolutely not permitted.
Did he say why?
It was all very mysterious, Sonny. It was even more so when we went inside. It turns out the home was owned by one of Trevor's clients, and the man was going through a rough time, and Trevor wanted to pay his respects. You know, he made it seem all very casual at the time, but now, in retrospect, it was actually quite deliberate, like everything Trevor does.
Did you meet the client?
No, Trevor took me in through the back, and he had me wait in the parlor. But it wasn't long before my curiosity got the better of me, and I started to wander the halls. I overheard someone telling Trevor that Mr. Z wasn't feeling well. Apparently, the man's wife had recently died, which is why Trevor wanted to pay his respects.
Did you hear anything else?
There was a question about how his wife actually died. I got the impression someone killed her.